Alright, what's up guys? Jack from the Modern Coder here, back with the second episode of what I'm going to call the WordPress Basics series. Basically teaching you how to, customize a WordPress theme with very minimal HTML, CSS kind of coding experience, because I don't think it should be that hard, and everybody should have a custom website. So today I'm going to show you how to create a child theme, and creating a child theme is basically the best thing you want to do when you're thinking about customizing WordPress. Child themes are basically themes which inherit their styles and templates from a parent or another theme. The other theme is called the parent theme. And then the advantage here is that you can nicely separate all of your changes out and perform these like larger stylistic layout changes without overwriting a base theme. So use a child theme. And it's pretty simple to do, so let's do it. So if you remember, if you were following on with my first episode in this series, we created a MAMP install and are running WordPress there. And so what we were left with, if I go and visit the site here, after that last video, was just a base install. As you can see, I'm just using the default 2017 theme here. And let's say I want to create a child theme and customize. So what I want to do is just open up where I have WordPress installed. So in this case, if you're on a Mac and followed along with my last video, it will be in the MAMP folder, htdocs, and then WordPress. And so here's all my WordPress source files. And I want to just go into WP content and themes. And this is the folder where all the theme files live. As you can see, I have 2015, 17, 16, and then this other theme I'm working on, which is we can kind of ignore for now. But if I go to my site and I go to themes, you'll be able to see that all the themes I see here are one-to-one with the folders in the themes folder. So this is where we're going to start. So the first thing you want to do to create a child theme is just go ahead and create a new folder in that themes folder. And so I am going to be modifying the 2017 theme. And so the traditional naming schema is I would name my child theme whatever the parent is and then dash child, just so I can keep everything straight. And so now we have a blank folder, as you can see here. So inside this blank folder, there's really only two files you need to create a child theme. And so let's go through and do that now. So I'm just going to open this in Sublime Text real quick. So as you can see, I just have a blank folder. And the first file we want to create here is called our style.css folder. Now, this is the file that WordPress will look in for some config options about what your theme is named and whatever. Why this is not a config file like normal applications would do, I'm not sure, but we're rolling with it. So in style.css, what you want to put at minimum is a theme name, description, author, template, and version. So in this case, I'm making a child theme of 2017. You can name this whatever you want. The author is just my name. And then the important part here, just make sure that the template key is set to the name of the theme you're trying to modify. So if I go back to my Finder, in this case, I'm going to be modifying the 2017 theme. And so I want to make sure the template is named 2017, just like my theme file. So now let's go back, and if we refresh our appearance and themes page, you can see that the child theme I just created is going to be populated in this list. So let's go ahead and activate that now. Now remember, this is just a blank folder with one file in it. So if we go ahead and visit the site, you're going to see that no styles are loaded. And so we're going to take care of that next, but I do have a theme, just no styles yet. Okay, so if I go back to Sublime Text, I'm going to go ahead and create another special file. This file is called, I believe it's functions.php. Yes, so this file is going to be named functions.php. Save it there. And in this file, what you're going to want to put is an opening tag which says look for some PHP. And then you're going to put these two special function calls. So basically what this will do is it will take the styles or CSS from the parent theme and then tell our child theme to inherit everything. And so let's just save this file. And once we save this and go back to our WordPress site, and if I just go ahead and refresh, you're going to see that I basically created a child theme that looks exactly like our parent theme. And that's good. That's the first step. So right off the bat, what a lot of people like to do is just change some styles. And so if you want to change the styles, all you have to do is go back to that style.css file and just add them down here. So maybe I want to make my navigation bar black. So all I would have to do is just add the styles down here, save, and then if I go back to my site and refresh, you can see now that I have my navigation bar that is black. And so you could go crazy like this, changing all the styles you want. But at a certain point, you may want to change more fundamentally the layout of your site. So in this case, like maybe I want to move this author and date down to below my post or something a little bit like that. So what you're going to be wanting to look at here is how you can change some of those layout files that we talked about earlier. So changing the layout files. So let me go back to Sublime, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag in my 2017 parent theme in here as well, so we can go ahead and look at these files. So there's a couple files you should pay attention to, a couple layout files. The first is index.php, and this just defines what your homepage looks like. As you can see, there's my header. My list of posts is right here. The sidebar gets rendered down here. The footer gets rendered at the bottom. So that's our homepage. Header.php is going to define what our header looks like. Usually that is this part with the navigation. What's next? Footer. The footer.php is something you may want to look at, just what comes up and shows up at the bottom of the page down here. And then the other thing that is pretty important is content.php. This is the layout file that defines what a single post looks like. So content.php is going to define what these individual post pages look like. Let's see, page. Content page, just how your individual pages looks. If I go back here and go to my about page, let's say, page or content page is going to be what defines how that looks. And then usually there's some sort of navigation template. So in this case, template parts navigation top is just going to define what my top nav bar right here looks like. Okay, so those are the main files you need to pay attention to. Now, different themes will have different names for each of these files, but for the most part, this is a decent guide for that. So let me change something a little bit more substantial. So say I wanted to change, let's see, let's go back to my site and let's go to a post. So say I want to change how this post looks on my child theme. So what I would first want to do is go back and then look for where that template lives in my parent theme. So in this case, 2017 template parts post and then content.php. So what I want to do is go ahead and duplicate that structure on my child theme. So if I want to do here, let's create a new folder. First it's going to be template parts. Inside that folder, I want to duplicate this post folder I see here. So we're going to go ahead and do post. So now I have template parts post, and then I'm going to create a new file and name it content.php. So what WordPress will do now is it will look in my child theme folder for a file before falling back to my parent theme. So in this case, it's going to see this content.php and then use what I wrote here instead of the parent theme's content.php. So what I want to do here is go ahead to the parent's content.php, copy everything, and paste it in my child themes file instead. So a lot of this is going to be pretty confusing, but the basics you could probably figure out. So right here you can see, okay, here's my post entry metadata, and that's what's going to come up above here. And you can kind of tell that the time, okay, and then entry. So then this is the title. So this is going to be the title of the article. So if I wanted to move around the order, you could say I could maybe copy this and then just put it below this if statement here. And if I save that, go back to my child theme and refresh, there you go. So it moves to the bottom. So you can tell now that WordPress is looking at my content.php file that I just created here instead of the parents. And so I can do something even more interesting. So maybe I want to add a line break in between the post title and the start of the article. I can go ahead and do that and then refresh here. And you can see I have that line break. And then maybe I want to do something even more interesting. So if I do, maybe I can add a class here. and go back to my styles.php. Maybe I want to surround the article in a border. So you can see what I just did here. I added a class called single post to this article, and I'm referencing it here. So if I refresh, you should see, yeah, you should see some of my custom styles. So you can go through and do this for a lot. You can change the nav bar like this, the header, anything you want. Just copy the file from the parent theme, put it in your child theme with the same directory structure, and then when WordPress goes to load up your theme, it will look at your child theme first before falling back to the parent theme. And so that's basically how theming works. Whew, this video felt a little bit rough, but I hope I got all the information out there that I wanted to. If you have questions, please ask in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you. I'm planning on posting at least a couple more videos for WordPress Basics because I get a lot of questions about it. And if you want to have your question answered in another video, just leave a comment. And yes, that is it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.